Now, virtual production, again, I'm deep in that world, and I feel like I'm curious to see how is that going to make your job easier in any capacity, because the ability to have like these amazing sets that are painted in the background, or is it?
It's a loaded question. It's a loaded question, but no, actually, it's a fantastic question, because that virtual production VP is a huge amount of what the future of our world's going to be. Quite frankly, it's a constantly evolving machine. Like at the moment, there's no solid answer to say this is how we're going to define the expectations. Different studios are still trying to figure out how does that all integrate into the more traditional visual effects pipeline. But the simple fact of the matter is, as far as I'm concerned, based upon what observations of other folks that I've talked to, what I've seen already happening, virtual production is only going to serve to enhance what it is we do as a compositor.
Yeah.
You know, some people might say, oh, well, the age of the green screen is over, because virtual production in some ways is like green screen 2.0. I know there's more to it than that, so don't think I'm just pigeonholing it into one corner. For example, green screening, you mentioned it, green screening, that's been around for a long time. Some people hear blue screen, green screen, depending on what you're wearing. The clothing I'm wearing would not work for a green screen or a blue screen. I got blue.
Yeah. And you decided to choose plaid flannel today, so that's good.
Absolutely. This is a compositor's nightmare. There's a significant amount of added opportunity that comes out of virtual production, because now you get this absolutely amazing dynamic on-set lighting that comes out of that. You get actual backgrounds that legitimately feel like they're in the world that they're in. You don't have to green screen. So then the argument might be presented, well, then does that mean a compositor's job might disappear? Which the answer is absolutely not. The compositor's job is just evolving, just like all of our jobs in this industry are. We'll still be extracting actors and elements from green screens, blue screens, but in the world that virtual production brings, what that does is it sort of allows us to get reference points already built into our scenes. We already know what the expectation is, but there's still a significant amount of work that comes into play on the back end in post-production for compositing. For example, just even down to fixing screen artifacting that happens on set on those gigantic screens. There's issues that come out of that. On over to all the other plethora of elements that a compositor would be handling. As far as I'm concerned, virtual production to me is just this absolutely incredible technology that's coming into play that will in some ways make our jobs easier, but also serve to make brand new, unexpected challenges for compositors.
Oh yeah, especially since they just had like the State of Unreal address, and they show off all these tools, and you're like, oh, look what we can do. And obviously, whenever you see all these new tools, there's going to be people who are using it and trying to break it, finding out new things. And then even like with virtual production, it's beautiful because you're kind of blending virtual content and real life sets. You're still going to need green screen on some capacity of these things, and you're still going to have to do that stuff out. But it sounds like it's going to make things a little easier, but also create more work.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening to the CG Spectrum podcast. For more on this episode, visit us at cgspectrum.com/podcast. Check out our show notes where you'll find links to our guests and more behind the scenes. And if you're enjoying the show, please like, rate, review, and subscribe wherever you're listening, or share this episode with someone who might like it. See you next time.